Hello and welcome to Knitting Books, etc. My name is Cristina. On Ravelry and other social media, I am Puella63. So today I'm here to talk about what I've been doing this week. But first I want to thank Peg from the Book Prize Addict, I think it's her name, and Hannah from Hannah's Books for leaving so nice comments on YouTube. Also, Hannah tagged me with a book tag, the anti-TBR book tag, which I'm going to try to answer, but in small doses, because I am more a knitter that reads than a reader that knits. So I don't know much about what's around in the world of books, so it's a little bit difficult to answer those questions for me. Anyhow, I will try, but for now I wanted to tell you about my knitting week. So I didn't move much ahead in my shawl, so I'm not going to show you, and I also don't have any finished objects this week because my arm hasn't been behaving very well, so I had some difficulties in knitting for long stretches of time. So I don't know if I told you this last week, but this summer I had an accident and I broke I hurt my head, I broke my right elbow and I broke my right ankle. So I'm now starting to walk again, finally. But my arm is still a little bit, it has a long way to go yet. Anyhow, I didn't stop knitting. Sometimes, even after I had my surgery, and I was in a cast, and then the bandages, I had lots of bandages to avoid me moving my elbow, but I managed to knit slowly but steady. And it was actually very good because I had a swollen hand, and the fact that I was trying to move it made it better. Anyhow, sometimes it hurts, and this week it did, and so I knitted only a small amount, but I managed to finish another sock, which I'm going to show you here. This lovely pattern is again one of those patterns that I like because it's a repetition of 8 stitches by 8 rows, and it's fairly easy to memorize, very logic, also very easy to read. So even if we stop and then when we pick up the sock again, we know it's easy to check where we are. It's the Fairy Maiden, I think it's the name, Fairy Maiden by Handmade Life on Ravelry, and it's a free pattern. So, and I managed to finish one, and I am now I'm on the gusset decreases of the second one. And this yarn here, it's again deep stash yarn. Let me see if I find here. I know I have here, or at least I had here, the tag. Can't find it. I don't know where I'm sorry about with the noise. I don't know where I put the tag, but I know it's 100% BFL, and it was from a club I belonged to many years ago. I said recently to some friends that I decided to use my those precious skeins I've been hoarding and always looking for a very nice project and then never using them. So I think that my feet deserve nice yarn as well. And because I need to restock my sock drawer because I cannot wear nylon, I knew that already. My skin reacts to artificial fibers, and I was trying to convince myself that my feet were more resistant, but the fact is that I had some bad bouts of eczema and dermatitis, and so I am forbidden by my doctor to wear anything, even 2% of lycra is forbidden. So I am now restocking my sock drawer with 100% wool or wool and silk, wool and whatever, natural fibers. So this is 100% BFL, which is a type of yarn that I love because it's very resistant. I have some socks I made in 2009 and they are still holding on very well, and they are also 100% BFL. So these are my Fairy Maiden, I think that's how it's the name of the yarn. And then I picked up another BFL yarn I had in my stash. Oh, I found the tag. Okay, here it is. It's Harlem yarns. They are from South Africa. I can see here the information, and this is 100% BFL, and this was part of a club I belonged, which was the Golden Skin Club, which was very interesting. They used to give dyers a picture. In this case it was this one, and then each dyer chose to dye the yarn based on the picture somehow. So this one here, it's called Fields of Gold. It's obviously inspired in those fields there. So it's a lovely yarn. I am enjoying it, not only knitting it, because I can see that it's going to be a good yarn for socks. So meanwhile, I found another old stash yarn, which is also 100% BFL, and it's from Natalie Fergie, which is a dyer that doesn't dye anymore. So this yarn here is a little bit complicated to find a pattern for it because it's not a solid, as you can see. And I have already tried to use several. What I did is I went to my stitch dictionaries and I tried to find a stitch that is again easy to memorize. And I have tried 3 or 4 already, but then I ripped it out because I didn't like it, and now I'm at this point here. So I think that I might go along with this one. Again, it's this one is I don't know, I don't remember, 6 stitch repetition perhaps, or 12, I don't remember. But it's an easy pattern to follow. It's from Japanese stitch dictionary. I don't remember which one I chose. I have many stitch dictionaries. I love them. It's one of my favorite types of knitting books are the dictionaries and technique books. And so this is how it's now. I think I'm going to go on with this stitch. And that's more or less what I've been doing this week. Then the other day I noticed that we were already on the 24th. Today is the 25th of November, so it's 1 month to Christmas, and I normally knit something to my son's little sister. So he has a sister. She's 2 years old. It's from her father's, his father's child, and I want to do. I want to make her a sweater. It's going to be a very simple one, which is the design is by Jorge Locatelli, and it's from the book Heart on My Sleeve, which is a book, a digital book, which was organized by Tin Can Knits with the collaboration of several designers. And the idea of the book, it was a book that was for published for in digital form for charity work, which was for funding some malaria, something for malaria. And as I suffered from malaria when I was young, I traveled to Africa, and I suffered for many years from bouts of malaria. So I bought that book, and the idea of the book, it's very simple. It's the structure of the patterns are you knit the sleeves and the body, and then you join everything and you knit the yoke. The yokes are, each designer contributed with a different yoke. It's all of them are very nice. I have already knitted two designs. Tender Heart it's one, and then another one by Tanis Lavallée, I think. And now this one is from Jorge Locatelli, and I did some swatch, which is the sleeve, and I had to change it, and now I am again in the good. I think this size is good. I'm doing the 2-4 years old size, and my gauge is a little bit tighter, but that's okay because the child is 2 years old and she's very small, and so this will be nice. And I decided to try a new it's not new, it's new to me, Portuguese yarn, which is the Jardim yarn by Rosarios 4. This yarn is I cannot see, old age, let me try. It's 45% cotton, 55% superwash wool, and I the other day, Monday, I asked my sister I went to the treatment to my arm, and then I asked my sister to leave me in a street nearby, and then I walked for the first time home alone since I had my accident. And I entered the yarn shop, and I bought 3 red balls and 1 cream to do the contrast, and I am enjoying the yarn. I think it has a nice touch. It's not very heavy, and let's see, we'll see. And I am at beginning, but I want to concentrate on this week, so I hope that next time I record you'll see lots of progress here. And I also bought another one that I wanted to try, again by the same makers, Rosarios 4. This is Terra, and it's a 100% wool yarn. Let me see here, 100% wool. It's and it has, as they say, I don't know how many. I cannot see anything now. I'm getting very old. 170 meters to 100 grams. So it's a light worsted, between DK and worsted, I would say. And a friend of mine has made some hats with one ball only, or skein, or whatever you call it, this thing, cake. This is a cake, isn't it? So, and I want to try it because it looks very nice, the yarn, soft but woolly. And so this is what I want to do, but I also received this book on my post recently. This is a book by Kate Davies from 2019, and it's an amazing book. I tend to buy Kate Davies books because I like her patterns, and they are lovely and beautiful books always. And this one is full of patterns that I want to make. So I want to make everything actually, but I am in love with this one here, which is the Strody, okay? And this design is very easy. It's again the same type of design where you start with the sleeves, and then you knit the sleeves and the body, and you join for the yoke. And the Strody is a very simple one. I wanted to show you some other pictures, but I don't know why, cannot find them. The only thing that has the Strody has, which is a little bit more difficult, is that each stripe you see here are welts. So each stripe is composed by 2 welts, and so it will take some time. But a friend of mine knew that I wanted to make this jumper, and she gave me, as a early Christmas present, she gave me the yarn, which is the exact same yarn that Kate Davies uses in this. So I received, I'm going to show you, recently a cone. This is the grey, the light grey, and this is from a mill in Ireland. They produce the yarn. Kate Davies then sells the yarn in balls, but these are the original cones, and they are they say they are called Mohair Tweed. I know that they are 70% wool, 30% mohair, and I have already tried this. I knitted some socks. Presently it's full of oil from the mill, the spinning oil, but when they are washed, so when I washed my socks for the first time, they bloomed, they became very light. It's like wearing a cloud. Amazing. So this is the main color, and then she had, let me see, she sent me the exact colors I wanted, which are the original colors from the pattern. It's very rare that I choose the original colors, but here it is, the blue, which is the contrasting yarn. So, and I started a sleeve. Well, this is the second attempt, and I think I'm going with this size here. And here they are, the welts, and it's not much, but I think that the other one was much larger, and this one here, I think I'm going with this size here. So, but this is only for January, as I say. I have too many things on the needles right now, and so this project is not for now. It's for January, okay? So, I think I'm going to stop here. This cardigan I'm wearing is made with cotton from a Portuguese mill, which I cannot remember the name, Limol, it's the mill, and it's 100% cotton, and the pattern is by Kim Hargreaves. It's called Stunning, and it's full of cables all over, and it's lovely. It's also a very easy pattern because it has some logic in it, and so it was easy to memorize. And my throat is already a little bit dry, so I'm going to stop here. But oh, I forgot, I wanted to show you a pattern which is free on Ravelry, and I cannot remember the name. It's the designer, it's Laurel Knits, and let me see if I can find here the name of the pattern. Color Palette Socks. And this is the typical, again, pattern that I enjoy because I will be changing yarn frequently and I won't be bored. So I assembled all my sock wool leftovers and put them in a basket. I will show them to you next time, and I'm going to find some nice colors to make these socks as well. And I wanted to answer some of the questions from that tag anti-TBR regarding books, because presently I continue listening to, I already listened to 16 books on the Daisy Dalrymple mysteries, and that's basically what I've been doing. But I wanted to answer some of the questions from the anti-TBR tag. When I say answer some, it's because I don't know many of the answers. Why? Because again, I don't follow, I'm not up to date on everything. So the first question is a popular book everyone loves that you have no interest in reading. I don't know what books are popular. I don't tend to read. Sometimes I am a very contrary person, so when something is very popular, I resist, and sometimes for years and years I don't read a popular book, and then when I decide to read, sometimes I even am surprised and I really enjoy the book. But presently I don't have any idea of what book is popular, because I am starting now to watch some booktube videos, but I tend to read classics more often than new releases. So and I cannot answer this question, I don't know. Then a classic book or author you don't have an interest in reading. Okay, this is the opposite. I normally am always interested in reading a classical book, so I don't know any book. Again, I remember Hannah mentioned, for example, War and Peace. I haven't read it yet. I have the book, I have the audio book. I intend to read War and Peace, but I don't know when I'm in the mood. I haven't made any plans for the new 2021. I want to, but I haven't. But I don't remember any book that I said, oh no, I'm not going to read this. So again, not a very definite answer, but that's the truth. I don't have any classic book that I said I'm not going to read it. Then, an author whose books you have no interest in reading. This is, again, perhaps due to my contrary nature. There is a Portuguese author, José Saramago. He's famous. he died already, but he even won a Nobel Prize for literature. And I never felt, my mother read, I think, the great majority of his books. Everyone says that he's a wonderful writer, and I don't feel like it. So I haven't read anything by him. They mention here a problematic author whose books you have no interest in reading. He's not problematic, but I remember sometimes seeing or watching interviews with him, and I never liked him. So maybe that's why. I don't know. This question about an author whose books, a problematic author. I remembered. I don't normally say that I read things that I know that the authors are not nice people. I'm not. So I don't associate the books with the author. But perhaps I don't know. I remember that when I was younger, I had. I was curious and I wanted to read Mein Kampf by Hitler. I never did, and I don't, for example, am interested in that now. So that might be an author that I'm not interested in reading. What else can I say? I think that I'm going to leave the other 4 questions to the next episode because I wanted to think a little bit about them. But again, I think that, well, here I can see that some of the questions I have some more interesting answers. I mean, not I don't know. So I might answer those better next time. The last the other questions. So I hope I will see you next week. And for now, I'm going to stop here. Bye.